Welcome aboard. My name is Sharia, and you're listening to a brand new episode of the Aviation Files, the best podcast for all aviation enthusiasts. Today we will discuss disruptions in the U.S. around Thanksgiving flights, EASA finally lifting the ban on Pakistan International Airlines, updates on two huge ongoing mergers, and the introduction of AI into air traffic control. As you can see, it's a packed episode, so let's get to it. First of all, happy Thanksgiving to those of you in the U.S. and everyone out of the U.S. who is celebrating. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you, my listeners, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you that listens and supports the Aviation Files. It truly means a lot that we have listeners in every continent, every country, from Egypt to Germany to New Zealand to everything in between. So thanks y'all, and you don't know how much I appreciate you guys. Now, speaking of Thanksgiving, let's talk about some disruptions in Orlando and Philadelphia on Thanksgiving that caused chaos and delay on this busy holiday. Post-Thanksgiving travel through Philadelphia International Airport turned more chaotic on Saturday due to a major power outage in Terminal D, disrupting operations for several airlines during an already busy holiday weekend. The outage, which began late Friday night around 9 p.m., led to flight delays, gate relocations, and inconveniences for passengers on airlines such as United Airlines, Delta Airlines, JetBlue, Air Canada, and Alaska Airlines. 6 arriving flights, 3 from United and 3 from Delta, were redirected to Terminal A because passengers could not deboard in the affected terminal. The airport announced the outage on social media early Saturday morning and confirmed that power was restored by 1:30 p.m. This allowed gates, ticketing systems, and concessions to return to normal. Despite the disruptions, there were no flight cancellations attributed to the outage, although around a dozen flights experienced delays or operational changes. Data from FlightAware indicated that by late Saturday afternoon, nearly 100 flights at PHL had been delayed, adding to the stress for travelers. Officials continued advising passengers to check with their airlines for real-time updates as the airport worked to stabilize operations during one of the busiest travel weekends of the year. The outage coincided with Philadelphia International Airport handling its highest passenger volumes of the Thanksgiving period, with an estimated 1.04 million travelers passing through between November 22nd and December 3rd. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday were expected to be the peak travel days, further intensifying the impact of the outage. Meanwhile, travels at Orlando International Airport MCO faced separate delays caused by a drainage issue in the Federal Inspection Services area on Airside 4. This affected international arrivals, requiring customs clearance, and forced rerouting to Terminal C for processing. The drainage issue, which began on Friday evening, caused significant delays for international passengers, although domestic flights were unaffected. Airport officials confirmed the problem was resolved by Saturday, with normal operations resuming. Both incidents underlined the challenges of maintaining seamless operations during high-demand travel periods. Although quick responses mitigated the broader impact, these disruptions highlight the fragility of infrastructure and the importance of robust contingency planning to ensure smoother travel experiences during critical holiday windows. Next up is a story about Pakistan International Airlines. Now on this show, I have not covered a lot about the struggles they are going through, but let's just say the last couple of years have been pretty bad for PIA. However, recently they are starting to see a slight comeback. The European Union Aviation Safety Agency, EASA, or EASA, has lifted its 4-year ban on Pakistan International Airlines PIA, allowing the carrier to resume operations in EU airspace starting November 29, 2024. The ban, imposed in June 2020 due to safety concerns and regulatory deficiencies, marked a challenging chapter for PIA, but the airline has now demonstrated compliance with the international safety requirements outlined in Annex 1, Part TCO to Commission Regulation No. 452/2014. Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister Isha Gadar lauded the accomplishment, crediting the Prime Minister, the Pakistan Civil Aviation Authority (PCAA), and PIA for their efforts. In a public statement, Dar shared EASA's letter confirming the decision, noting that the airline will remain under intensified surveillance until the end of 2025. PIA CEO Amir Hayat emphasized the persistence of the airline's management over the past 4 years, which played a key role in securing this milestone. PIA previously operated routes to major European cities such as Copenhagen, Paris, Milan, Oslo, Barcelona, London, Manchester, and Birmingham. With the ban now lifted, the airline is expected to reinstate flights to these destinations through the UK Civil Aviation Authority (CAA), even though it still restricts PIA operations due to similar safety concerns. Discussions suggest that the UK may soon follow the EU's lead, however, although no formal announcement has been made. PI's current fleet includes 32 aircraft, 17 Airbus A320s, 12 Boeing 777s, and 3 ATR 42-500 turboprops, according to CH Aviation. This fleet will support its renewed European operations as it works to rebuild its presence in international markets. The 2020 suspension of PIA in Europe stemmed from a scandal involving fake pilot licenses, which came to light following a fatal Airbus A320 crash in Karachi in May of that year. Investigations revealed that a large number of Pakistani pilots held unverified or fraudulent licenses, raising alarm about the nation's aviation safety standards. The Karachi crash itself was later attributed to human error, including a breakdown in communication between the pilots and air traffic controllers. The EU's ban severely impacted PIA's operations and finances, as well as the availability of direct flights between Europe and Pakistan. Other airlines stepped in to fill the gap, increasing services on underserved routes. The lifting of the ban marks a significant recovery step for PIA, offering the airline a chance to rebuild its reputation and reconnect Pakistan with European markets after a period of intense scrutiny and reform. Now, in the beginning of the episode, I mentioned two big mergers. The first of them is the monumental Lufthansa-ITA merger that is ongoing and trying to get European approval. The European Commission has officially approved the merger between ITA Airways and Lufthansa, finalizing a deal that addresses competition concerns raised during the review process. To gain approval, the two companies presented remedies aimed at preventing monopolistic dominance, focusing on short-haul and transatlantic routes, as well as critical slot allocation at Milan Linate Airport. These remedies include an expansion by EasyJet, which will open new bases at Milan Linate and Rome Fiumicino airports in the spring, enhancing short-haul options for Italian consumers. For long-haul routes, particularly those connecting Italy to North America, Air France-KLM and International Airlines Group (IAG) will work to improve connectivity through code-share agreements and interlining arrangements. This strategy is designed to ensure robust competition even as ITA Airways and Lufthansa combine their operations. Brussels had raised concerns about a potential monopoly on short-haul flights between Rome or Milan and major Central European airports, a lack of competition on long-haul routes to North America, and the overconcentration of valuable slots at Milan Linate Airport. To address these, Lufthansa and ITA Airways have agreed to provide competitors access to critical markets through slot swaps and agreements aimed at increasing service frequencies and improving passenger connections. These steps are intended to mitigate any reduction in market competition resulting from the merger. EasyJet is a key player in the agreed remedies, with plans to deploy 8 aircraft across its new bases in Milan and Rome, solidifying its position as the third largest airline in Italy and the second largest low-cost carrier after Ryanair. This expansion will make Italy's EasyJet's second largest market, serving over 21 million customers annually. In November 2024, Cirium data highlights Ryanair as a leader in the Italian market with 23,500 flights and 4.5 million seats, followed by ITA Airways with 10,300 flights and 1.7 million seats, EasyJet with 6,400 flights and 1.2 million seats, and Wizz Air with 5,600 flights and 1.3 million seats. Wizz Air deploys larger aircraft such as Airbus A321s, which accounts for its higher seat availability despite offering fewer flights. For long-haul connectivity, Air France-KLM and IAG will facilitate intercontinental routes by leveraging their existing networks and agreements with ITA Lufthansa. While direct flights are not planned, these competitors will offer increased frequencies and improve one-stop connections, ensuring Italian travelers have viable alternatives to the ITA Lufthansa routes. The European Commission has emphasized that these measures will maintain a competitive market while supporting the growth ambitions of all parties involved. The Lufthansa-ITA merger was first announced in November 2023, with Lufthansa initially acquiring a 41% stake in ITA Airways, with plans to purchase the remaining 59% in the future. The European Commission granted preliminary approval in July 2024, subject to competition remedies being implemented. After resolving disputes over acquisition terms with Italy's Ministry of Economy and Finance, the deal reached its final approval stage. ITA Airways welcomed the decision, seeing it as a critical step in its transformation and growth under Lufthansa's leadership. The merger represents a significant restructuring of the Italian aviation market, while maintaining a careful balance between expansion and competition. The next merger on the list is the Korean Air Asiana merger. This merger would completely change the Korean aviation landscape, so let's take a look at what's going on with it right now. Korean Air has announced that the European Commission, once again, has granted final approval for its merger with Asiana Airlines, marking a significant milestone in the process that began in 2020. The approval comes 10 months after the European Commission provided conditional clearance in February, contingent on addressing competition concerns. Korean Air has now fulfilled all conditions set by the European Commission, including supporting T-Way Air's operations on overlapping European routes and divesting Asiana Cargo to Air Incheon. With this development, the United States Department of Justice remains the last major regulatory body to greenlight the merger, which Korean Air aims to achieve by the end of the year. The European Commission had initially raised concerns about reduced competition on 4 overlapping routes to Europe: Barcelona, Frankfurt, Paris, and Rome, and required the divestiture of Asiana's cargo business. Korea-based T-Way Air was designated as the remedy carrier for these routes and has since launched operations from Seoul International Airport to all 4 of these cities. T-Way Air operates a fleet of 4 Airbus A330-300 aircraft sourced from Thai AirAsia X, Aeroflot, and Smart Links Malta, and has received support from Korean Air in launching its European services. Meanwhile, Air Incheon, a South Korean cargo airline, has taken over Asiana Cargo, acquiring its fleet of 12 Boeing 747-400 freighters and 1 767F, along with associated assets such as slots, traffic rights, and customer contracts. T-Way Air began its European expansion in August with flights to Rome, followed by Barcelona and Paris in September, and Frankfurt in October. The carrier now operates 3 weekly flights to Barcelona, Frankfurt, and Rome, and 5 to Paris. Korean Air and Asiana Airlines continue to serve these routes with higher frequencies, reflecting the competitive landscape even as T-Way Air builds its presence. T-Way has also announced plans to expand its wide-body fleet by leasing 5 Airbus A330-900 aircraft, with delivery starting in 2026, signaling its commitment to long-term growth. As part of the merger's requirements, the divestiture of Asiana Cargo ensures a competitive cargo market. Air Incheon's acquisition includes not only freighters, but also operational infrastructure, providing a seamless transition and maintenance and maintaining cargo services that are critical to the region's trade network. Korean Air has submitted the European Commission's final approval to the Department of Justice and is pushing to complete the merger by year-end. However, the Department of Justice has expressed antitrust concerns, particularly regarding the dominance of Asiana Airlines and Korean Air on flights between South Korea and the United States. In November, data shows that these 2 carriers accounted for 62% of the total 76,238 weekly seats on the South Korea-US routes, including Delta Airlines, a SkyTeam partner of Korean Air. This market share increases to 75.6%, raising questions about competition. Despite these concerns, Korean Air remains optimistic about resolving the remaining regulatory hurdles, with the merger process progressing steadily. The airline is positioning itself to consolidate operations and expand its global footprint, pending Department of Justice approval. Finally, as many of you know, the rising influence of AI is present in many industries. Due to the immense responsibility of companies in the aviation industry, AI has had less of a presence here in order to maintain high standards of safety. However, we are seeing this shift nonetheless. London Heathrow, for example, is experimenting with AI and ATC. London Heathrow Airport LHR, one of the busiest aviation hubs globally, is piloting an artificial intelligence system to assist air traffic controllers in managing high flight volumes amidst staffing shortages. Named Amy, the AI system integrates radar and video data to monitor aircraft movements across the airfield, offering a digital visualization of their positions. Amy tracks arriving flights from touchdown until they exit the runway, ensuring the operations are conducted safely. Tested on 40,000 flights in London's congested airspace, the system is being evaluated for accuracy, consistency, and clarity. According to Andy Taylor, Chief Solutions Officer at the National Air Traffic Services, this innovation stems from the use of a digital control tower, enabling information to be processed and enhanced by Amy's AI capabilities. The implementation of AI at Heathrow is a timely response to the broader crisis of air traffic control shortages across Europe, which has severely impacted flight operations. In 2023, Heathrow managed approximately 1,245 flights daily, a figure expected to rise due to strong post-pandemic travel demand. However, ATC capacity issues have resulted in the worst delays and disruptions in 2 decades, as reported by Eurocontrol. Airlines for Europe, A4E, has urged the EU Transport Commissioner Hoekstra to address the issue, citing thousands of flight cancellations and delays during the summer of 2024 that disrupted travel for hundreds of thousands of passengers. Ryanair has been especially vocal about ATC inefficiencies, alleging a 21% increase in ATC fees over 3 years without corresponding improvements in staffing or service quality. In November 2024, Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary criticised the UK's ATC services, calling on Transport Minister Louise Hay to reform the system and replace NATS CEO Martin Rolfe. O'Leary's remarks highlight growing frustration within the industry over the operational challenges posed by ATC shortages. The situation is not confined to Europe. The United States is also grappling with ATC staffing challenges, underscoring the global nature of the issue. As airports and governments seek innovative solutions, systems like Heathrow's Amy AI offer a glimpse into how technology could augment human capabilities, enhancing safety and efficiency in air traffic management while addressing critical workforce gaps. That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and do make sure to support the Aviation Files however you can. And don't forget to check out my Insta at the Aviation Files for more fun and exciting aviation news. Until next time.